Hi, this is Greg Jameson. I'm the president of Web Stores Limited, and I run an online training course called Web Stores University, where every week I get the opportunity to talk to someone who is actually running an e-commerce store for their business. And today I'm here with Jessica Peterson, and I'm going to let Jessica say a few things about herself.
Hi, Greg. I have to say, I always admire you and your determination, and thank you for keeping up on me about being on your show. And I don't know what you're going to ask, but I'm excited to hear what you have to say and provide as much value as possible to all of your friends. So if anybody was asked who I am, I always like to say I am a purpose-powered person. So everything I touch or create has to go along with my purpose, Greg. And my purpose is being a connector, supporter, protector. A lot of people know me as the founder of Customer Wow Project. That's W-O-W, not wild, but wow. And I've been coaching people for 5 years now on social media marketing. We keep growing and expanding into marketing. So I am excited to be here, Greg, and provide any value if possible I can for you and your friends.
That's awesome. And that's really one of the reasons why I wanted you here, is because I know that you are actually selling some products online, which we'll talk about today, but the fact that you are also coaching people on internet marketing in general and having the Customer Wow Project, that I think you have a lot of insights that some of our listeners can really benefit from. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about your e-commerce presence and what it is that you are selling and how you are selling that?
That is a great question. So it's been just, oh man, I think we just hit 1 year. So it's Knot Brothers. It's KNOT brothers.com. We are currently sold out of the ties. Have you ever seen, Greg, those fancy ties like the tulip, the Eldridge that men tie?
I've not only seen them, I've got one of your ties.
Okay, before you had one, did you see them out and about, Greg? Did you ever see the ties?
I had not, and I had seen people that had tied fancy knots like that before, and I know that I don't even know what they're called, but I know that there are people that are a whole lot more clever than I am when it comes to tying their tie, but I had not seen those marketed as a pre-tied tie like what you have.
So yes, a lot of people call them fancy ties, cool ties, and each design has its own name. I mean, there's tons of different names. There's Eldridge, Tulip, Trinity. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But what happened was my husband wanted to make a first-class impression, but we were always late, and I don't like being late. And I know you don't either, Greg, and I value that about you. And it takes 20 minutes up to 2 hours to tie these ties. And my husband got frustrated and said, that's it. I'm going to develop, create, and invent. It was a process. Each tie has a piece in it. You know, there's been many different models. And since then, we've patented. And you can, in under 10 seconds, that's Velcro, put on your tie, and out the door you go. And Greg, what I love, remember how I said I'm a supporter, connector, and protector. I love supporting men, saying I have confidence. I now have a conversation starter, and I would love to hear your story. You know, I have confidence when I go to business events. I have confidence in that job interview, or I felt good walking my daughter down the aisle for her wedding, or I had a speaking engagement, and I felt empowered. And not only that, but people with disabilities, Greg, a lot of them couldn't tie these. And now they are able to wear them and say thank you. I just love all the thank yous that tie in into the stories. But there are some men that pride themselves, and I absolutely admire them, that they take the time to tie them. It does seem to be ruining ties and suffering time. I'm all about time efficiency. If you can look good, feel good, save time, I'm in. So share with us about your experience, Craig, when you've worn it.
Yeah, well, without exception, every time I've worn it, and I've worn it a number of times when I've been giving public presentations, people always compliment me on my tie. In fact, they frequently compliment me more on my tie than on my presentation. So it does make an impression. And You know, the thing that's interesting, and I don't know if you have plans to expand out at all, but I've always thought that the tie can really set people off when you are the presenter or you're the focus of attention for whatever reason, like you said, walking your daughter down the aisle for a wedding or whatever. So I've always had ties that have been a fairly bright and bold tie because I think it just really helps set it off. You know, men's suits, women have all the really cool clothes. Let's face it, men's suits, you know, they come in gray, brown, navy, and black. And for the most part, I mean, there's a few things, you know, maybe somebody has a vest or, you know, there might be a little bit different style to the jacket. But for the most part, a men's suit is a men's suit. And they tend to be dark in colors. And as a result of that, like I said, whenever I've been out presenting in public, I've always tried to get a nice, bright, bold tie, you know, something orange, yellow, red, whatever, so that it does have a statement to it. And so I've got your red tie with, I think it's the Eldridge knot. And like I said, without exception, people have always come up afterwards and like, that is really cool. How'd you do that? And so there's some word of mouth marketing going on there. Because I tell people about it. One of the things that I would be interested in is it seems like you have solid color ties like the red one that I've got, and I didn't know if you were ever planning on going into something even wilder, some print type or stripes or whatever.
I love that question. And first of all, I want to commend you for wanting to stand out, and the suits are kind of more traditional. So we're definitely a brotherhood of men who value their time and the first class impression. So we're absolutely all about that. And we are coming out with socks. We're coming out with cufflinks and more items for that brotherhood of men who value their time and their first class impression out there. So yes, and we are coming out with more ties in the future. And if there's a company we are review with some pretty big stores. I mean, I not only believe in online shopping, I buy online, but I also like to go in the stores. I really think the future is going to be a combination. And yeah, we're just going to expand. So if there's a big store who wants a specific design or model signature to them, we're very open for conversation.
Okay. Now I know that, you know, I knew about your ties because I knew you. But I did see that you had posted something on Facebook at one point about the ties, trying to get some more people to try them. What are some of the methods that you've utilized to really get the word out there about your product?
That is the most popular question I receive. So I'm really glad you asked that one. I just tell people I follow my own, you know, marketing advice. And there's really some steps into that, you know, marketing system. It's a lot like, I always say, building a house. You wouldn't just go out there and start building a house. And I had a conversation with someone the other day. It kind of broke my heart, Greg, because they're developing and patenting a product, and they were so excited, and I didn't want to know what it was because it hasn't been revealed, and I didn't want to sign NDAs or anything at that point in time. But my concern for them is I said, what's next? And so many people, Greg, are clueless. And I'm still learning. I've learned so much out there. And when I actually meet with people and they ask, you know, success, failures, all of that, but really have that plan of action in place, because a lot of people get just so excited, but they don't realize how much work, time, energy, effort, and you really have to have a thorough plan. There's very few people I take on per year. Right now I'm working with a client where they came to me with a business plan, and I said, let's think deeper, bigger, and bigger, and bigger, because there's so many areas you never even think about.
Yeah, so you are selling the ties on your own website, I know, and you're selling them on Amazon, and you're talking about selling them in stores. Do you think that this kind of multifaceted approach to selling things is the best way to kind of get your product out there, or do you think that, you know, a different person or product that maybe they should concentrate on one particular area in order to really grow their sales in a particular niche?
That is a great question, and it really comes down to depending on the company and their goals and so many different factors. But I thoroughly believe that everybody should be exploring in stores and online. Some people say only online or only in stores. But Greg, I will share with you right now, we're sold out. But by the time this airs, hopefully we have some more in. But I do want to say that if anybody wants to obtain one of our ties, our goal is to have it where it's more affordable going in the stores versus online. We really do to support the stores.
Okay. I know that I actually work with a number of customers that try to sell their products both wholesale and retail. And what they end up doing is some of them end up saying, okay, we have a single website, and the website, we show our products at retail, and if you have a login, then you can go in, you can log in and buy the products at wholesale. Other customers say, you know what, we really don't want our retail customers, we don't want our retail stores to know that we are also selling at retail. So we're going to create a retail website that has a slightly different name, and then we're going to have a totally separate wholesale website that our stores can go in and buy things at wholesale. Do you see any issues with your product in terms of channel conflict of selling yourself online versus selling in the stores, or do you think the fact that it's going to be cheaper in the stores that kind of solves that problem?
Well, there's many different ways you can approach it. One, I do think being cheaper in the stores will fix that, but let's go above and beyond that. If you order online, you have shipping, you have to wait. People, you know, we all want instant gratification, right? I mean, I read once, and it's so true, just turning on a microwave for 30 seconds seems like eternity, right? You're like, okay, when's it done? You know, we're just in that instant gratification era. And so it only makes sense to me that you go to a store, you grab it, you gain it right then and there, you're saving money. Why would you want to? I mean, but, you know, there are people out there who maybe, unfortunately, are not able to get out into stores, who are sick, or, you know, there are people that, you know, with disabilities who do go ahead and purchase them online. Maybe it's not easy for them to get to a store. So we definitely want to make sure that we're flexible and available for people in all different areas.
Yeah, one of the things that I always tell my clients is that you want to be in as many places actually as you're comfortable managing. So if you have your own website, that's great. If you also sell on Amazon, that's great. You want to sell on eBay, you want to sell however, it's actually good to be in a lot of different places, not unlike taking different payment methods. You know, you don't want to say the only thing that I'll take is MasterCard and Visa when somebody wants to pay you with American Express or PayPal or something. You take their money however they want to pay you, right? And I think the same thing is true with kind of being online. You want to be seen in as many places as you possibly can.
Absolutely. And every person's going to be different. So for example, I just met with a company where they're exploring about hiring me for social media, and they have their storefront, but right now their preference is eBay, interestingly enough. So they've got their storefront, they got eBay, and then they also have sales reps that do private parties for their product. So, you know, every company has its own model, and it's just about diving into your purpose, your goals, and really seeing what best suits, like what you said, how many people you're willing to serve.
Okay, so the different kinds of marketing methods that you use, we talked a little bit about Facebook. Have you done Facebook ads or just Facebook posts, or?
You know, we've done the organic through Facebook. We've also done Instagram. We've also done the paid route. And there's so many different, when you look at marketing, there's so many different facets. Again, it's like building that house. So we've used Amazon, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, sales reps. We even have sales reps. I would have to say probably our biggest part of success is really, you know, I teach this in my blueprint for social media success, is one of them just developing relationships with people and, you know, key people and giving to them. And next thing you know, they want to give in back and support you. Yeah,
I think that, as you probably know from my book, Amazon's Dirty Little Secrets, that one of the things that I really tell people is that you want to get other people to market and sell your product for you. And so whether you're doing that through social media, or you're doing it through people writing testimonials about you, kind of online word of mouth or physical word of mouth, because someone like me's out there wearing it and promoting your product for you, that getting other people to start talking about your product is one of the absolute best ways that you can really grow your market. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you've done kind of along those lines to help promote your product going viral or getting word of mouth?
There's so many different areas. There's not just, one magic solution out there. But I firmly believe in giving, and we've supported quite a few nonprofits. And by supporting nonprofits, donating ties, donating money or whatever, I'm a firm believer what goes around comes around. So by supporting them, it's really helped get the word out there. And there's definitely a whole algorithm to that as well, and that social media success. But it's been a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and I haven't checked on this, and so I honestly don't know what you're going to say here at all, but have you done anything with videos on your ties, or whether it be testimonial videos or showing people wearing the ties or anything?
We have done a little bit. We've actually we've kind of held back a little bit just because we're sold out right now, but again, by the time this airs, that should be fixed. But we have had some pretty well-known famous people purchasing our ties, said, you can go ahead and market that we're fans of your ties. Video, just interviews like this, we haven't really pushed a whole lot. Again, just because one piece of advice, if anybody's looking at getting a product out there, really think big. And, I always say that, and I thought, okay, but really think big, because get ready for that big order selling out. It's been amazing for us.
Yeah, I've got a customer that he was thinking bigger than what I was thinking for him, and he was trying to get on Oprah, and he did get on QVC and so forth with his products. It's like, you need to think at that kind of scale. Whether it happens or not, you need to think at that kind of scale, so that it gives you the opportunity to at least grow to the size that you want to grow to.
Absolutely. Today I was reached out about being on possibly, national television. And again, that all just came through word of mouth, through the social media. If you go out there and support good people, they want to give back to you and support you. And the next thing you know, you're talking about being on national television. And it's a lot of fun.
Well, this is the internet. You're on international television.
Yes, I'm on the internet. No, I know, it's so funny. I don't even hardly ever watch television. I even have clients on television, and they do extremely well on television. But I'm more of a reader, Greg. I'm more of a reader. I know I'm probably a little old-fashioned that route way, but
yeah, I try to read a little bit every day. That's important. So, is there any specific advice that you can think of that you would give to someone else that's selling online? May not be a clothing article like what you've got. It might be jewelry or food items, whatever it is. Somebody that's also got physical products that they're selling online. Is there anything that you would say, hey, when I started, I really wish somebody had told me this?
Oh man, there's so many things I wish people would have told me. It's only been a year. So one of them would be manufacturing. Manufacturing has been a whole other journey. So really make sure you understand manufacturing. Something else, piece of advice is, and I teach this again in my marketing program, but what really sets you apart? What really makes you unique? Another thing is you can't please everybody. And another one actually that just popped in my head is really make sure you have something that people want. I had someone come to me recently, Greg, and said, we've got this great product service, yada, yada, yada. Anyhow, in our research, we discovered that there wasn't much need or want for it. So we had to go in and tweak their branding and their messaging to make it expand so much bigger and better. There's so much advice, and I would love to hear from other people too, what advice they have, but it's very expensive when you deal with manufacturing. So again, for example, this person keeps popping up my head probably because I had a recent conversation with them. They're patenting, creating this, great whatever it is. Okay, great. And then talking with them, it's expensive to patent. It's very expensive. And they said, oh, that's taking all our money. And I said, okay, well, just kind of advise to me, how much is it to reproduce are we talking pennies? Are we talking a couple dollars? Oh, no, it's expensive. Well, you just got done telling me that you ran out of money. How are you even going to produce? Because a lot of places want big orders, right, Greg? I mean, they're like, okay, so here, we want 5,000 of your product. How are you going to fulfill that? And a lot of people don't think past that.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I think that there's a lot of people that, dump a whole bunch of money, I see, into their packaging and maybe going to things like trade shows or whatever. But you're right, the product itself, they may not have even done much research of, hey, does anybody really care? Does anybody really want this? And it seems like doing that before you start investing in trade shows and packaging and so forth, that it makes sense to say, yeah, I know that there is in fact a demand for this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it has to be something you're passionate about, you fully believe. It has to go along with who you are. It really needs to be more than just about making money. There's tons of ways to make money, but at least have it serve your passion or your purpose as well. And have fun while you're at it. Life's too short to do anything different, right, Greg?
It is, and if you're passionate about it, then obviously that shows in everything you do. When you're marketing stuff, you get excited about it, and therefore other people get excited about it.
And create those possibilities. Like someone mentioned today on social media, because I had a business meeting on one of the keys. And that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to, conduct business in a beautiful place on the Keys, and it's happening. Whatever you want, make a plan and have it happen. I actually have a lot of interest, and we're coming out with a program, how to start a business working anywhere, but with a focus on the beach. So I'm really excited about that.
That's nice. I'll have to show up there sometime for a beach meeting.
Yeah. Yes, I would love to have you show up. And how do I say this without coming off wrong? But everybody wants to meet. I'm sure, Greg, you're bombarded every day. Let's talk. You get 100 messages every day. Let's meet or talk, and you can't meet all of those expectations. Yeah. And so I'm creating a way and, different programs and ways to connect and meet with people and provide value in a fun environment. So we are working on something on the beach. I would love for you to fly out. It's a write-off. I'm working on it being economical in negotiations, just under $2,000 a couple in the Keys. So how much fun is that?
That'd be sweet. Now, one other thing I want to kind of thought of here as we were talking that I still want to touch base on is one of the things that a lot of people do, especially I think online retail shops that I've seen, is that they don't give enough information, in my opinion, to allow somebody to make a buying decision. Frequently, they'll put a picture up, and I know you don't do this, so even though I'm going to use you as an example, this is the kind of thing that I would see. They might put a picture up of the tie and say, pre-tied tie, 20 inches long, red. And that's the extent of what they give somebody, and they expect people to buy that online. They don't put the emotion in there or the passion like you talked about. And it seems like that's something that in the description that everybody should do. Even if you're reselling this from somebody else, if you're passionate about it, you should go in there and you should put the description in there. We did these ties because we are concerned about people looking good. We are concerned about handicapped people not being able to tie things, whatever. And that, these are a conversation starter. These are really cool. And you kind of give people some emotional reason as to why they ought to buy the product. And like I said, I know you haven't done that, but I've seen so many people that that's what they do when they put stuff up for sale online. It just amazes me that they think they're going to sell it when they don't have that passion behind it, or the description that gives people enough information to really make that buying decision.
I totally agree. And it's that fine line, right? You know, I hire people, I have coaches and, you know, I hire people as well. So go out there and hire someone and have that second opinion. And like you said, be passionate about it, share your purpose. Visuals, I notice a lot of people lack visuals, lack purpose, and I'm really glad that you brought up about the disabilities again, Greg, because I did have some people say, oh, that really shouldn't be part of your messaging. And I thought, well, why not? Because I am all about supporting. I mean, you have to be authentic. You have to be real. You can't please everybody.
It absolutely should be, because the fact is that, quite honestly, one of the people that wear ties a lot are seniors, and they may have arthritis in their hands or whatever, and you know, they're not sitting in a wheelchair, but the fact is that they would have a difficult time tying a tie, and they like to wear ties. So I think it absolutely needs to be part of the message.
Yes, and we have had some men write in and say, well, I pride myself, I take the time, I actually tie it, and I'm all, that's great. You know, that's fabulous, I commend you. But there are people out there, when you bring this perspective to them, they don't even think about it. There are some people out there who wish that they could tie a tie. They are unable to. So we have to empower them. But it's more than that, Greg. Like I said, it all started because, you know, my husband values how he looks and I value his impression, but we also value our time. You know, I read this book by a gentleman named Paul Akers, great gentleman. Now we're good friends. And he wrote a book called 2 Second Lean. And in there, you know, 30 seconds a day, Greg, if you add that up over a year, do you know how much time that is?
Haven't calculated it.
Well, I never did either until I read the book. So it's over 3 hours a year. I mean, if you really step back, and that's what I really teach right now in my social media. I'm creating time management and systems down per minute. This is where you spend your time, energy, and focus per minute, and people are loving it. And they're saying, wow, my spouse says thank you because I have more time with them, right? And so my husband and I, we had the aha moment by developing this tie. You know, there's a lot of businessmen that want to look good, feel good, have confidence. But, you know, take that time you save and call your mom or call a friend or go volunteer or, you know, hustle and get more work done or do something else. So it's a brotherhood of men who value their time too. And if you have the time to tie it and you love it, more power to you than you should.
Yeah, I think that, you know, a really good takeaway on what we're talking about here is that the description that you put in needs to really show your passion behind this. I can think of, you know, different customers that I've got that might sell, you know, a kitchen gadget, for example, or they might sell a pond pump, you know, to create aeration in a pond, whatever it is, that you need to have that emotion and passion behind the thing, but you really need to tell people about why it is that you think that this product is great. Like I said, even if you're reselling the product from somebody else, they don't care about the manufacturer's description of the thing, saying, oh, this thing is 3 inches by 2 inches by 5 inches, and weighs. They want to know what it can do for them. And you need to put that into your marketing materials, whether it be the description on your website or the post that you put on Facebook. It's really important to convey that message to potential customers.
Yes, and something else I would love to bring up, Greg, if I have permission, is
absolutely
been a really hot topic, and I feel the need to bring this up. And I actually bring up a small part of it up in a book I'm coming out with, 40 and Wiser, women who are 40 and I like wiser instead of older. Where we share our wisdom, and I'm loving all the stories that are coming in and information. So with that is so many people think, when I do something, I need to keep doing the same thing over and over. No, it's okay to change. It's okay to tweak. It's okay to, you know, expand. And so someone thinks I have a website up and that's it. I mean, have you ever heard that, Greg? I put up a website 5 years ago and that's it. Yeah. I just had a gentleman come to me. He said he put up his website. I think it was like 2006 or 2005. And I'm thinking, wow, it was 10 years ago. And he goes, I know, it's outdated, it's old. And it's really interesting. So I took his website and showed it to some people. And their first word out of their mouth was, how old is that website? And it's okay to alter, adjust, change, because so many people think once you create a website, that's it, you're done. Once you create a social media channel, that's it, you're done. But things evolve and change, and evolve and change can be good.
Yeah, in fact, they not only evolve and change, but it seems like, you know, one of the things that I've always tried to get the message out there about is that having an online business is not easy. It's actually, in many ways, much harder than having a physical business, because people can't see you, they can't see the products, they can't feel the products. You have a lot of work to do, and you have to work it every single day, not just put up a website 10 years ago and then wonder today why you're not selling anything. You've got to work it continually.
Yes. Well, times evolve and change. You know, if you think about 10 years ago, there was an Instagram or the Pinterest, and you got to get with the times. And as you know, SEO is always evolving and changing. It's just constantly. So you got to get with the times. But even your messaging, it's okay to alter and change. And this message even goes into our personal lives, Greg. I mean, so many people think, I want to be in the same house for my life forever. Really? Do you want? Okay, that's great if you want to. But it's okay to move. It's okay. It's okay to embrace change. And it's so fascinating. In the past 24 hours, I've had several people say, I'm scared. I have fear. Fear is a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Well, and if you have fear, you obviously have to learn to channel it, to make yourself go forward with whatever it is you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's power mindset. And I think my biggest thing is I'm such a perfectionist. For me, overcoming that, I don't know, maybe I'm finally over it. And I think that also holds back a bunch of people. Well, I have to have the perfect company, the perfect store, the perfect this, the perfect that. Well, there's many people out there, guess what, who are not perfect, and they're making a lot of money and they're doing good in the world.
Yeah, and that actually applies to websites too. You know, I've done some things for people where it's not perfect for them, and so they don't launch their new website. And sometimes this goes on for months, and it's like, you know, done is better than perfect.
I had a client once who was not happy with their site, and that's it. And what we discovered is, I think emotionally they were just, what's the right word? They were just scared to move ahead. They had fears. Really, so sometimes it's not so much, you know, the website. There's more internal fears that they're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've covered some great information here today that's going to help a lot of people. Can you just, as we conclude here, tell people a little bit more about your Customer Wow project, and also how they can get a hold of you and purchase a Not Brothers tie?
Well, they're always welcome to go to notbrothers.com. I would welcome that. And Customer Wow Project, it's customerwowproject.com. And really, that agency all started with one small act of kindness can wow someone. And I'm all about companies who want to make an impact in this world for the better. And, you know, for example, real estate, financial, and mortgage lending, that's a lot of my background. I work with celebrities. And then products, it depends on the product. You know, we don't serve everybody, and the product has to align with our mission. But it's all about, you know, that one small act of kindness, Greg. It's so amazing. People ask, well, how did you get to know this person? And how do you know this celebrity or get here? Well, you have to put good out there in the world. That one small act of kindness is not only going to come back to you personally, but also in your business. And, you know, a lot of people out there are reporting, wow, not only did my business grow, but my personal life, which is more important. Having that enrichment in your own personal life. Like, I was so beyond honored, Greg, when you had us over in your home. And I want to say thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. It was a lot of fun. So
it was a lot of fun.
So now I'll have to come down to Florida and hang out on the beach with you, as we talked about. So
I know, so rough, huh? So rough. Great.
All right, awesome, Jessica. Thanks for being here today, and we'll make sure that people have your contact information so they can get a Knott Brothers tie as well.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate all the good you're doing. Keep on being awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.